What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter, Ph.D. Picture this. From the moment you took your first breath until you blew out 18 candles on your birthday cake, you heard the word no, or were told what you couldn't do more than 148,000 times. Let that number wash over you for a second. That's over 22 dream-crushing messages every single day. No, don't touch that. You can't do that. That's not for you. Be realistic. These messages came from parents who loved you, teachers who cared, and friends who were simply repeating what they'd heard. Nobody was trying to sabotage you. They genuinely thought they were keeping you safe. But here's the twist. While protecting you, they accidentally installed a virus in your mental software, a program that's been running silently in the background of your mind ever since. And for most of us, that program is coded for failure. Now, what if this invisible programming is actually the master key to everything? Your success, your happiness, whether you go after your dreams or watch them collect dust. It's not about luck, destiny, or even how much effort you put in. It's about the quiet conversation happening in your head, every heartbeat of every day. For years, we've been sold the idea of positive thinking, but let's be honest, for many of us, that feels like slapping a coat of bright paint on a crumbling building. The motivation sparkles for a minute, then we're right back where we started. Why? Because nobody ever handed us the owner's manual to our own minds. Today, that changes. We're cracking open that manual. We're exploring a book that's quietly revolutionized lives in over 70 countries, written by a trailblazer named Dr. Shad Helmstetter, who spotted the connection between our thoughts and our brain's physical wiring long before it became trendy. This isn't just another pep talk about thinking happy thoughts. This is about understanding the actual science of how your mind operates. By the time we're done here, I promise you'll understand the single most powerful force that's been sculpting your reality. Even better, you'll learn how to grab the steering wheel. You'll discover what to say when you talk to yourself. Think back to a time when you had a dream so vivid it made your chest tight with excitement. Maybe you wanted to paint, run marathons, lead a team, start a business. You felt that electric rush of possibility. You devoured a motivational book or attended an inspiring seminar, and for one glorious week, you were unstoppable. You were absolutely going to transform your life. And then, nothing. The spark fizzled. The motivation evaporated like morning fog. That book gathered dust on your shelf, and life slipped back into its familiar groove. Why does this happen to practically everyone? Are we all just fundamentally lazy? Do we simply lack willpower? Dr. Helmstetter says absolutely not. The problem isn't you. The problem is your programming. Imagine you're about to board a sleek, beautiful airplane headed to your dream destination. Just as you're walking down that tunnel to the plane, you overhear the pilot casually mention to the co-pilot, "Oh, there's just one tiny issue. The onboard computer that flies this thing? Yeah, it's programmed with 75% incorrect directions." What would you do? You'd sprint off that plane faster than you could say refund. You know exactly how that flight ends, either in a spectacular crash or landing somewhere you never wanted to be in the first place. Here's the jaw-dropping reality check. Most of us are living our entire lives aboard exactly that airplane. Research shows that roughly 77% of our everyday self-talk is negative, self-defeating, and actively working against us. Our internal guidance system has been programmed through those 148,000 no's and countless other messages to fly us straight into the ground or to completely wrong destinations. This is the invisible barrier between you and your potential. It's not lurking somewhere out in the world. It's taking up residence between your ears. So how does this programming actually operate? Dr. Helmstetter explains it with a beautifully simple analogy. Your brain is the most sophisticated biological computer on Earth. Like any computer, it has hardware and software. The hardware? That's the physical brain itself. The software? That's your thoughts. Every single thought that crosses your mind, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, is literally a command you're feeding into your computer. And here's the game-changing rule. Your brain believes whatever you tell it most often. It doesn't evaluate whether something is true or false, beneficial or harmful. It just accepts the programming and immediately starts creating a reality that matches it. It has absolutely no choice in the matter. The author shares a deeply personal story about this. As a young kid, he dreamed of playing an instrument in the school band. He tried out, filled with hope, and later overheard the band director tell his teacher that not only couldn't he join the band, but that he had zero musical ability and would never be able to play any instrument. That single moment became his program. He heard it, he believed it, and for 20 years it became his unquestioned truth. He never even attempted to play music. It wasn't until decades later that he secretly sat down at a piano and discovered the band director had been completely, utterly wrong. But that faulty program had already stolen decades of potential joy. Flip the script, though. He tells the story of a man named Mike Vance. When Mike was just a little kid, he happened to overhear a neighbor tell his mother that Michael is very creative. He's going to grow up to do creative things. Mike caught that single positive program and ran with it. That one belief shaped his entire trajectory. He eventually became the dean of Walt Disney University and one of the world's leading experts in creativity. One negative program, one positive program. Both possessed the power to shape an entire destiny. This process follows a crystal-clear 5-step sequence that the book calls the self-management sequence. It's the chain of command inside your mind, and it flows like this. Step 1 is programming. This is the sum total of everything you've ever heard, been told, or told yourself. It's your mental software. This programming creates your beliefs. And here's the kicker. What you believe doesn't actually have to be true. You just have to believe it's true. If you've been programmed to believe you're terrible with money, that becomes your lived reality. Your beliefs then shape your attitudes. Your attitude is the filter through which you interpret everything in your world. It's your default perspective. Your attitudes create your feelings. If your attitude about your job stinks, you're going to feel miserable about going to work. And finally, your feelings determine your actions, your actual behavior. If you feel terrible about work, you'll hit the snooze button, drag your feet, do the bare minimum, and your performance will tank. And your actions create your results. The success or failure you actually experience in life. Programming creates beliefs. Beliefs create attitudes. Attitudes create feelings. Feelings determine actions. And actions create your results. It all begins with the programming. If you genuinely want to change your life, you can't just white-knuckle your way into new actions. That's like trying to force a computer to run the latest video game with software from 1995. It'll glitch, freeze, and eventually crash. To change your results, you've got to trace everything back to the source. You have to change the programming itself. But how? This is where so many of us slam into a wall. We recognize our toxic thoughts, and we try to just stop them. We announce to ourselves, starting right now, I'm going to be a positive thinker. Dr. Helmstetter explains why this almost always fails with another brilliant analogy, the mental apartment. Imagine your mind is an apartment, and all your thoughts are the furniture inside it. For most of us, this furniture is ancient, broken, and inherited from other people. The couch of self-doubt is sagging and stained. The chair of procrastination wobbles dangerously. Framed pictures of past failures hang crooked on the walls. One day, you decide enough is enough. You're going to be positive. So you spend an entire day hauling all that old negative furniture out and cramming it into the garage. Your mental apartment is now completely empty. It feels clean, spacious, full of possibility. You think, perfect, I've cleared out all my negative thinking. But you haven't replaced any of it with new furniture. What happens after a few hours rattling around in an empty apartment? You start feeling uncomfortable, restless. So you wander out to the garage and drag back a chair. Just one won't hurt, right? A little later, you bring in a table. Then that familiar old couch. Before you even realize what's happening, all the decrepit, broken furniture is right back where it started. You might arrange it differently to make yourself feel better, but it's the exact same programming. You can't just eliminate negative thoughts. You absolutely must, consciously and deliberately, replace them with new, strong, positive thoughts. You have to purchase brand new furniture, and that new furniture is called self-talk. Self-talk isn't just thinking happy thoughts or repeating empty affirmations. It's a specific, structured method of giving your brain new commands. It's a completely new language. And like any language, there are different levels of fluency. Dr. Helmstetter breaks it down into 5 distinct levels, and understanding them is absolutely crucial. Level 1 is the level of negative acceptance. This is the most damaging level, and tragically, it's also the most common. It's defined by the phrase, I can't remember names to save my life. I just can't seem to lose weight. I'm simply not a creative person. Today's going to be another disaster. When you speak in level 1, you're stating a negative reality and accepting it as unchangeable fact. You're programming your internal computer to fail, and it will dutifully follow your instructions. This is the vocabulary of defeat. Level 2 is the level of recognition. This one's sneaky because it sounds like progress, but it's really not. This is the language of I should or I need to. I really should get more organized. I need to stop putting things off. I've got to start working out. What message are you actually sending your brain when you say this? You're essentially saying, I should get organized, but I'm not. You're acknowledging a problem while simultaneously programming the reality that you're not solving it. Level 2 self-talk doesn't create change, it manufactures guilt. Now we shift to the levels that actually work in your favor. Level 3 is the level of decision to change. This is where real transformation starts. Here, you stop talking about what you should do and make a firm decision to leave the negative behind. The key phrases are, I no longer, or I never. Instead of, I can't control my temper, you say, I no longer let my emotions control me. Instead of, I eat way too much junk food, you say, I never eat more than I know is good for me. You're speaking in the present tense, as if the change has already happened. You're informing your subconscious mind that this is the new reality. It's a powerful way to start breaking old patterns. But the most transformative level, the one that actually builds new futures, is level 4. Level 4 is the level of the better you. This is hands down the most effective self-talk you can possibly use. This is the language of I am. Here, you're not just deciding to abandon the negative. You're actively defining the positive version of yourself you're becoming. You're handing your brain a detailed, finished blueprint of the new you. I am disciplined, organized, and in complete control of my time. I am a patient and loving parent. I am confident and calm when speaking in front of others. I am healthy, vibrant, and overflowing with energy. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending. You might not feel organized or energetic right this second. That's completely okay. You're giving your brain its new instructions. You're declaring, this is the person I'm choosing to be. This is our new program. Now get to work. Level 4 self-talk builds fresh neural pathways. It literally rewires your brain for success. It furnishes your mental apartment with beautiful new pieces. Finally, there's level 5, the level of universal affirmation. This is more spiritual in nature, often using phrases like, it is, to connect with higher consciousness or universal oneness. For example, I am one with the universe, and it is one with me. While this can be meaningful for people on a spiritual journey, Dr. Helmstetter makes it clear that for practical, everyday transformation, your focus should be on mastering levels 3 and 4. These are the tools that'll help you fix habits, improve relationships, and crush your goals in the real world. So how do we actually start using this new language? How do we turn it into a habit that sticks? The book outlines several simple, practical techniques. The first is silent self-talk. This is about becoming aware of the constant mental chatter in your head and consciously redirecting it. When you catch yourself thinking, I'll never finish this on time, you immediately hit pause and replace it with, I am focused and productive. I handle every task with ease. It's a mental course correction you can do anywhere, anytime. It requires no extra time, only awareness. The second is self-speak. This is about being mindful of the actual words that come out of your mouth, both to yourself and to others. How often do we casually say things like, oh, I'm so clumsy, or that's just my luck? These words are programs. Winners speak a completely different language. They don't whine about problems. They discuss solutions. They don't fixate on what's wrong. They focus on what's possible. Pay attention to what you say. Your words are literally constructing your world. A third powerful technique is self-conversation. This is talking to yourself out loud, as if you were coaching your best friend or giving yourself a personal pep talk. It might feel weird at first, but it's incredibly effective because it engages more of your senses. The author suggests something he calls shower talk. When you step into the shower tomorrow morning, instead of letting your mind spiral into worry, greet yourself out loud. Say, good morning, you look fantastic today. You are strong. You are capable, and you're going to have an absolutely incredible day. Then respond to yourself, you're absolutely right. I feel amazing. Let's crush it. Starting your day with a 2-minute pep talk can genuinely change everything. Finally, there's recorded self-talk. This is perhaps the easiest and most automatic way to reprogram your mind. It's based on a beautifully simple principle. You learned your first language by hearing it spoken around you, over and over, mostly in the background. You can learn the new language of positive self-talk exactly the same way by listening to recordings of level 4 self-talk phrases for just 15 minutes a day. While you're getting ready, driving, or exercising, you're giving your brain the repetition it needs to carve new neural pathways. You don't even have to concentrate intensely. Your subconscious mind is always listening and absorbing. Dr. Helmstetter himself used this exact method to lose over 50 pounds and keep it off permanently. He simply listened to weight loss self-talk every morning while shaving, and his brain handled the rest. But knowing all this is one thing. Actually doing it? That's a whole different ballgame. And this brings us to the final critical challenge the book addresses: overcoming something called personal growth stasis, or PGS. Stasis is that frustrating state of being stuck. It's when you know what you should do, You're genuinely excited to do it, but somehow you don't. It's the invisible force that keeps pulling you back to the old, familiar furniture in your mental apartment. It's the ultimate enemy of growth and progress. So how do you break free from it? Dr. Helmstetter offers a straightforward 3-step launch plan. First, set a clear, written goal to make positive self-talk a permanent fixture in your life. He points out that a goal that isn't written down has less than a 10% chance of actually happening. The moment you commit it to paper, that percentage jumps to over 75%. Second, commit to listening to recorded self-talk for at least 15 minutes every single day. This is non-negotiable. This is what provides the automated repetition that will override your old programs and create momentum. It's the engine that pushes you past the gravitational pull of your comfortable old habits. And third, create a written list of the old, negative self-talk programs you want to change. This creates focus and heightens awareness. You can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. By writing them down, you're essentially serving them an eviction notice. This is your path forward. It's not magic, and it definitely isn't a quick fix. It is a simple, scientifically backed method for taking conscious control of your own mental programming. It's about deciding once and for all that you're no longer going to be a passenger in that airplane with the faulty computer. You're going to be the pilot. You're going to choose your destination, and you're going to program the computer with directions that guarantee you arrive there safely and successfully. It all begins by changing the words. Because when you change the words you say to yourself, you change the mental images you create. And when you change the pictures in your mind, you change your life. As we wrap up our exploration of what to say when you talk to yourself, I'm struck by its profound and elegant simplicity. In a world drowning in complex life hacks, productivity systems, and endless conflicting advice, Dr. Helmstetter brings us back to a fundamental truth. The world you experience on the outside is a direct mirror of the conversation happening on the inside. This isn't just feel-good motivation. It's grounded in the science of neuroplasticity, the understanding that our brains aren't fixed, but can be rewired at any age. Every time you repeat a thought, you strengthen a neural connection, just like walking the same path through a forest until a clear trail emerges. For decades, many of us have been unconsciously walking the paths of self-doubt, worry, and limitation. This book hands us a map and shows us exactly how to consciously forge new paths of confidence, resilience, and genuine achievement. What strikes me most powerfully is how this book empowers you as an individual. It gently strips away all excuses. It's no longer about your past, what others did or didn't do for you, or the circumstances you find yourself in. It places the keys to transformation directly in your hands. The responsibility is significant, but the freedom it offers is absolutely breathtaking. The realization that you can reshape your entire life by changing a few simple words you say to yourself is one of the most liberating ideas you'll ever encounter. So how can you start applying this immediately, right now, to feel a genuine difference? Here are 3 simple actions. First, for the next 24 hours, become a detective of your own thoughts. Just observe them. Don't try to change or judge them. Simply grab a small notebook or use your phone's notes app, and whenever you catch a strong internal comment, especially a negative one, jot it down. I'm exhausted. This is impossible. I'll never figure this out. Just by shining awareness on these automatic programs, you begin to drain their power. Second, choose just one of those negative phrases you identified and make a commitment to replace it with a level 4 I am statement every single time it surfaces. If your default phrase is, I'm so stressed, immediately counter it with, I am calm, focused, and in complete control. It'll feel awkward initially. Your old programming will resist. Do it anyway. This is the crucial first step in carving a new trail through the forest of your mind. And third, try the shower talk experiment tomorrow morning. Spend just 2 minutes speaking positive, powerful level 4 truths to yourself out loud. Tell yourself what you want to believe about yourself. I am bursting with energy. I am a creative problem solver. I treat everyone I meet today with genuine kindness and respect. Start your day by programming your own success before the world has a chance to program you with anything else. That was a summary of What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. We've explored the core principles today, but a summary is like flipping through a travel brochure. It shows you beautiful pictures, but it can never replace the experience of actually taking the journey yourself. The real transformation happens when you immerse yourself in the book, when a particular story resonates deeply, or a simple phrase sparks a profound personal insight. This summary is your map, but the treasure is discovered by reading the book. If any part of our conversation today felt like it was speaking directly to you, I strongly encourage you to grab a copy. It's more than just a read. It's an investment in the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one you have with yourself. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next journey into another life-changing book in the billionaire's bookshelf. Your support helps us continue bringing these powerful ideas to more people. Let's keep growing together.